Buongiorno to everyone who would like to sweep a profile curve along a guide curve in 3DCoat. One of the easiest ways to go about this is to not use voxels. And by that, I mean use curves instead. Now the curve toolkit can be reached by pressing Q, and you immediately have a bunch of options to draw curves. The top row on the third, fourth, fifth, and the sixth icon on the top row are all cool to draw curves. I like the B-spline option the best because that gives super silky smooth curves. And here I go already drawing a profile curve. Now, if I would like to modify this, I can press Q again and just select something, press G to reposition it, and do what I need to do regarding the profile curve. So this will be the cross section of the sweeped curve. Let's quickly create the guide curve. I will go into a different view from the side, press Q, use the same tool, the silky smooth B-spline tool, and press escape. Press Q again to position a couple of these points. G, drag, select, and G. And then all I have to do is right-click on this curve that is currently active and say sweep profile along guide curve. I get a pop-up where I can either click on the drop down to select the other curve, and in this case curve without a numeric extension should be my first curve, and that is gonna be what I will select. And there you go. We have swept the profile curve along the guide curve. Now these are still procedurally connected, so I can select a point on my guide curve and delete it. It will nice and smoothly follow along. Same goes for the profile curve, which in this case I should name. So I'm going to click on curve and rename it profile. You can do this right in the beginning. It helps. And curve 1 will be guide. As you can see, the name updated in this drop down as well. Now, if I say I would like to reassign the profile curve, I can do it with this little pick crosshair icon, and then the instance where it becomes green, that certain curve can be selected as the profile curve. Okay, so there are a couple of things here. If you weren't expecting this to be in this orientation, because from the front view you drew it exactly the opposite way, then you can either do something with the profile, meaning I'm moving the whole profile all together. So let's press Q to select explicitly all of the curve points. And then we can either press Shift E to rotate it and say, this is what we would rather do. And the reason it didn't rotate in the sweep is beyond me. I don't know. I expected this to update. Well, anyhow, if that didn't work, then something else will, and that is none other than the twist angle. Problem is that this will only work on the end. So forget about this. Sorry. And angle of the profile is rather what we were looking for, because in this case it rotates the whole profile along the whole curve. So this can be used for that. Now, if we don't want caps on our curve, then you can actually choose that as well. Believe it or not, we can add thickness, because that is cool. There's no other explanation. Or we can crank up the level of detail. Now I will reintroduce the cap and the end, and I will get rid of the thickness. So cap start, cap end means we get closed volume, which is not a volume yet. The density slider merely controls, pressing W to go into wireframe mode, merely controls how dense our created or lofted, or name it what you want, swept geometry will be. There's probably a, oh yes, adaptive geometry is checked, so I'll uncheck that. And here we can pretty much get a really low poly, but not beyond a certain threshold. So it really needs a couple of polygons to, be able to get close to this profile curve. You can't go beyond a certain point, and it cuts off where it feels it needs to cut off. So if you look at this, and let me crank up the okay, actually this is what I would like to do. I'm cranking up the lights to demonstrate the beautiful wireframe that it creates. Now, the density slider can make this really slick and tight, or we can go on the other end and just make it rough and dirty. The twist angle is actually something that twists the profile from 0 to 1, and 0 being the start of the curve and 1 being the end of the curve. So that 0 to 1 twist angle gets propagated throughout the whole length of the curve. Let's get back to 0 because we don't want twist. And the scale graph is another interesting thing. If we uncheck this, nothing will change really, because, well, it will, because this value, the scale factor, is again from the 0 point to the 1, and 0 being the start of the curve, 1 being the end of the curve, or 0%, 100%, whatever you like. You can scale linearly, in this case, the profile. We are scaling the profile from its original size to 0, which is nothing. That's why we get this nice little thinning. I'm going to crank this back up to 1, and we'll get back our original profile all throughout the guide curve. And I'll click Use Scale Graph to control this tapering, if you will. with a nice little value curve. Now, in this case, we are not scaling anything. This is a constant. But if I pull down this point, then you can see we're back to where we were previously. If I push it up, then it'll be probably double the size of what we have in the beginning, because this, if this is 1, this is probably 2. Okay, we can press Shift and snap to the grid points, which is a neat feature. Plus, we can add extra points should we need any thinning in the middle, because maybe we do. It looks kind of neat. You can get as fancy as you would like to by adding extra points and then creating a rather interesting shape that would probably otherwise be quite difficult to achieve. So this is sweeping a shape along the curve, and if you'd like to get this into the sculpting room, we can now press the eye icon to unhide or actually hide the curves that were used to create this. They will be there for later on if needed. How about cranking up the density? And we are not using adaptive geometry. That's a bit smarter way of controlling the needed amount of polygons. So if we uncheck it, it'll just be a uniform density distribution. All polygons are trying to be the same size. We're talking the same size in the same ballpark, there won't be super small or super large polygons present at the same time. So let's press W to get back. We've got our nice little dense mesh, and going back to the sculpt tree and pressing, actually we have to press apply curves. Yeah, this isn't what I wanted. So we already have this swept curve right here. And well, it pretty much looks like that this has been created. So why not just press the S button to go into voxel mode? Actually, we are converting this to more voxels. And we can choose to unlink the curve and the volume, or keep it live with the curves that we previously created. I'm going to choose unlink curve and volume. This is kind of artifacting, so unfortunately it's not a super nice and clean result. But what I will be doing is I will be redoing this. So let's get rid of this, because something just got a bit corrupted along the way. So again, the guide curve is selected, right click, sweep profile along guide curve. Good. Now we have our little thingy back, and we could massage this and do all sorts of things, but I'm just going to press apply curves, and now it's working as expected. I'm going to hide the curves again to get those out of the way. I'll go into sculpt, go to the sculpt tree, and now we have a 30,000 polygon surface. waiting for us. What I would do is maybe I'll crank it up first and then convert it to voxels. So I'm going to unlink curve and volume just to be safe. And now pressing the S, we have an even better version. No, I'm kidding. This is a bug. Whatever the hell happened over here. So, well, welcome to 3DCoat. You love it and hate it as at the same time. Let's do it again. Curves, items, right click, sweep profile along curve, apply curves. Yes, thank you. Go to the S, press it. 500,000. Very good. Okay. No. Press the S again. Okay. Unlink curve and whatever. And now we pretty much have what we wanted originally. And yes, I know it looks a bit artifacty, but if I press Alt S, which is my hotkey to smooth all, then we can live with this result. Okay. Very, very good. And see you in the next video. 3DCoat, you gotta love it. Sometimes it messes with you. Cheers.